Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today we actually have something special for you. We have the producer of the current #1 movie in the country, Terrifier 3, Phil Falcone. He's also produced Terrifier 1 and 2 and was a co-producer for the other amazing film that came out this year, Stream, which can now be purchased as of this week on Vudu, Apple TV, and Amazon. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil. And dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us. And like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out and support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. Phil, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk to us today. We know it's been insane lately, I'm sure, between interviews and movie showings and everything.
How you doing? Glad to be here. I'm very honored. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. I'm having fun, but it's a lot, I got to tell you.
Oh, I'm sure you're just all over the place doing all the media stuff. But we'd have some questions for you because obviously we want to know more about you. We want to hear about the whole process with Terrifier 3. And my first question for you is, Terrifier 3 is out now. And as we mentioned, it's officially the #1 movie in the country. Not #1 horror movie, #1 movie. How does it feel knowing that creating an independent horror film with no major backing has now grossed, from what I'm reading as of right now, is over 25 million worldwide? And how does it make you feel knowing that you're part of something that isn't just a huge win for horror films, but a huge win for aspiring independent filmmakers? You're essentially part of cinema history.
Well, I don't look at it that way, but God, yeah, it's been great. I'm very proud of what we accomplished. We had a great team. Takes a lot of work. It's not one person doing it. It's a whole army of people. And to say there were no hurdles to jump on this one would be a lie. There's a lot of hurdles you got to get through to make it here. You do the best you can to make it as good as possible. And let's face it, the fans, they went out to see it in droves, and that's what put us where we are, which means we're doing something they like, and that's great. And, I'm not an organizational type of person. So I'm happy to see independent films make a mark, and not just in the horror community, but worldwide, like you said, in all movies. So that was big. Even overseas, we're hitting it nice. So the fans see the effort, they see the passion, and they feel it, I guess, and they're showing it. And I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Hey, I can officially say I think we're all happy because Corey and I, we went to see it. Actually, we got our tickets early. So we saw it on the Thursday before the official drop on Friday, and we loved it. It was awesome. The four of us went. I got my Terrifier cup. Good to go there. Didn't get a barf bag because I'm not overseas, but yeah. And that thing was wild, man. But Corey, you've got some questions too. I don't want to hijack you because I know you're super excited, as I am.
Yeah, I just want to say, though, like Steve said, we went and saw the movie last week, and we saw it at a pretty big theater in Massachusetts, and I've never been to a movie there where every single seat was full. Wow. And, you had people dressed as Art the Clown all over the place. It was some wild stuff to see, and it was so exciting.
That's cool. It's good to hear. I don't know what to say. It's an amazing feeling to, I went Thursday as well. I went in my neck of the woods in Freehold, New Jersey, and the crowds there were amazing. They, A couple of people noticed me. A lot of people noticed Damien. So it was fun. It was weird too, because, here I am, some guy from Brooklyn, always wanted to be in the industry, never made it into the industry. And all of a sudden, in 8 years, and it's the number one movie and people are starting to recognize you. It's a great feeling, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I'm still a little shocked, I guess. But I'm, like I said, proud and happy. And like I said, with the team I have, I'm very proud of all of them.
So what you just said kind of leads me into my first question here. How did your filmmaking career begin, and what made you want to get into it?
Well, I always wanted to be in films. I actually worked for a film house in the 70s and in Manhattan, place called Cinefex Color Lab. But, I wanted to have a family, and, I wanted to be an actor. I didn't want to be putting film on reels. So I left that, and I ended up on Wall Street. And when I retired from Wall Street, well, I got sick in 2007, 2008. By 2010, I was feeling better. A doctor talked to me and said, you need to do something. You're getting out of shape and everything. So we discussed what my possibilities might be. And he asked what I was happy doing. And I said, I always wanted to do films. So he says, so why don't you do something in films? And I ended up doing a movie called Joe's War. I co-wrote that. I directed it. I produced it. And that's where I met Damien. And on the set of Joe's War, me and Damien hit it off right from the beginning. And he kept mentioning this movie about a clown. And I had told him, I said, listen, I'm looking to raise money for an action film. I'll put your clown movie on. Let me know what you want to do. I'll put it on the pitch package. And if the people would rather do a horror film than an action film, you get your money. Right. So he sent me what he was looking for. And I said, that's it. I said, I'll give you the money. You teach me special effects. We'll partner up. We'll do this thing. And he thought, I found out later, he thought I was full of shit. But he got the check the next day. And I, they say the rest is history, I guess. But it was a struggle. But we got there. Me, him, and George, and about 4 other people on Terrifier 1 really put in some time.
That's a hell of an investment, I gotta say. Like I said, this is quite the successful franchise. Obviously, Terrifier 1 just kind of started off, and it had its niche and had its fans. But then Terrifier 2 came out, and it just blew the industry away, because I think it was like a $250,000 to produce, or to film and everything, right? And
yeah. What happened on Terrifier 2 was I had gone to, Damien and Dave had gone to a con in Arizona. And I said, let me go see what one of these things are like. And when I got there, I'm looking around, and now you got to remember, we weren't even on Netflix yet. And people were walking around, and they had homemade Art the Clown shirts and Terrifier shirts. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking, and people were coming over to our table and saying, hey, to Dave and Damien, hey, what's going on? I loved your movie. And I'm looking around, and, you have Freddie, Jason, Mike Myers, and all these icons. And I'm like, I said, Damien, how old is that one? How old is that one? And he's telling me all the ones that they were. And I'm like, holy shit, it's been years since something new has really taken anything by storm. So I said, we got to go bigger in Terrifier 2. Let's talk right after this con. We'll sit down and we'll talk about going bigger. And that's what we did. So we extended the budget out to $250, $275, something like that. And I had an Indiegogo run and whatnot. And we put in. On that movie we had about 9-10 core people, and we really did a lot. With the low budget, we ended up building all our sets in my barn upstate New York. Me, George, Steve Delasala, Jason Levy, my friend Larry. We had this guy Rob up there, and we built all our sets. And and we had Olga come down and decorate everything. So, you had just the right people doing the right thing, everybody pulling in the right direction. Everybody's heart was in it. Nobody was slacking. It was just a team effort again. And that's where me and Damien have been very lucky. And George, we seem to have the right people at the right time. And the Fuzz Boys have become like family to me. They're like my kids. They're all like my kids at this point. I'm an old bastard. But we have all these talented young men and women, and we just came together, and it's been amazing.
I'm sure it has. I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall just to see the whole process and everything. And I would think that everyone involved is super passionate about it, like you were saying, because they just believe in it. And you're right. We haven't had that kind of killer in a very long time. Obviously, we have our Jason, Freddy Krueger's, Michael Myers, things like that. And those franchises have gone on for a long time. And now Art the Clown has come along, and people now just finally able to clamor onto a whole different killer and jump on a whole new franchise. And I think that's what people are just so psyched for, is having something new and refreshing and super violent, obviously. So people just really loving it. And I know we are.
Yeah, I think you have a combination of things here. You have the brutality, plus you have the humor. You have an iconic looking figure, somebody very different from what you've used to seeing. Then you mix that with a bit of a story. Then you add in, and again, this is where, I take a lot of my pride, is building a nice, solid team of nice people that could sit in front of anyone and have a good time with them. So you have the fans coming over, and we're very sociable with our fans. And I think the fans eat that up. Like they come over and they see everybody's personable and they talk to them and everybody's spending time. It's not just, hey, yeah, move on. Somebody else is behind you, get lost. We genuinely want to hear their thoughts. We genuinely want to talk to them. So we spend as much time as we can with them. And I think that permeates in our fans, and the fans enjoy that. We enjoy it. I go to these cons, I sit at the table just to talk to people. I'm usually breaking their chops, but I like to have fun with my fans. I like to have fun with the people. I goof around with them. We have a laugh. We have a talk. We have serious conversations, laughter, everything. So it takes you out of that grind that you're normally in, and you just have a good time with some good people.
Yeah, and I can attest to that, and it shows, because Steve and I recently went to Silver Scream Con in Worcester, Massachusetts, and we had we were fortunate enough to meet Lauren Lavera and David and Damien. Elliot and Amelie was there as well, but specifically Damien, we were at his table for like 10 minutes. He was in no rush. He was just talking to us and being really nice. And I have an Art the Clown.
Are you kidding me? Wait until I get him.
Yeah, right.
I told him he's got to sign that. No, I'm kidding.
So I have an Art the Clown, really cool Art the Clown portrait tattooed on my leg. And I asked him if I could show him, and I showed it to him, and he was amazed with it. He asked me if he could take a picture. Like, he got down and took a picture of my leg with his phone, and then he's like, take one of these 8x10s and I'm going to sign it for you for free for that. And he wrote, cool. I chose the poster of the very first Terrifier film, and he signed it. He wrote, Corey, suffer for your art on it, and the quotations under art. I was like, that is so cool. Never rushed us, just chatted,
Yeah, Damien's a dynamite guy. I'm telling you, I associate my people with good people. I like it to be a family, not a job. I already did a job for 30 years. I'm looking for family life. I like being with my family. So when I'm doing work, which is to me not really work when you're making a movie, even though it is hard work, I like being with family. So family it is. Matter of fact, my family helps me in the movies. My daughter's all over 1 and 2, all her body parts. My wife's body parts are in 1 and 2. Cooks for us. So there's so many things that my family does. My other daughter helps in the back office. So it's a family-oriented film process. We go out together, we eat together, we hang together, we party together. So we do everything together. And I mean, it's just a bond. It's not just, all right, get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, go to work, come home at 5. It's not that. It's really, we live together, basically. We have a good time together. We genuinely like each other. So, and like family, you still butt heads once in a while, but it's genuinely a family. It's not just friends.
Yeah, you got to love what you're doing and have at least a good relationship with people around you, because I wouldn't want to work a job where I'm just around people I don't like all the time. It makes the whole process miserable.
I do that now.
Yeah, I do that now. Not wrong. But I mean, that's obviously that's got to be like the best situation, is working a job where you love what you're doing and you're around the people that you really care for and love, basically. It's got to be amazing.
Oh, trust me, it's amazing. I tell everybody I can, you got to do what you love. You go around in this life once, you should enjoy yourself. You got to do what your passion is. And if you're passionate about something and you get other people, like-minded people that are passionate about it, there's no such thing as failure.
You're right. Hey, and I understand that, because I work a job and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It just pays the bills. Does it make me happy? No, but we do what we can just to get by. I would personally love to be in that situation where I'm just enjoying every single day. And like you said, you can butt heads with people. That's fine. But if you ultimately enjoy what you're doing, it's not work. And as cliche as it sounds, it's true.
Oh, trust me, it's true. I'm living proof. I'm also living proof that you're never too old. I'm living proof that, lightning does strike more than once. I was successful in my last career, and I'm successful in this one. I like doing things. I've had a lot of failures in my life, but when I say failures, I mean businesses that might not have made it to where I wanted it to be. But out of that, I took all the good stuff. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life, and I've had a lot of people that worked with me. And I could tell you right now, I could contact any one of them, and I'd have no problem getting them with me. As long as you treat people right and you do the right thing, and they know your heart. Listen, I'm rough around the edges, and I get nasty at times. And I'm on the set. I'm working. I've got to get this done. If there's pushback, I got to make sure it happens. So as a producer, sometimes you got to put your foot down. And but I think everybody that I ever worked with, they know the type of person I am. They know that if I say, hey, you got to do that, I'll be doing it. I don't need you to only do it. I'll do it with you. I'll go shoulder to shoulder with you. I'll knock down a wall with you. I'll build something with you. I'll build a set. I put myself on fire in Terrifier 2. I wanted to see what it was like. I don't ask anybody to do anything I won't do.
See, that's the definition of a leader as opposed to a boss.
But I don't ever think of myself as a boss. I never want to be put in the position to have to tell somebody and say, I said do this, that's it. I don't like that. Even when I did Joe's War, we had a scene where I had to have a cameraman go up in a helicopter, and she said, I'm not sure I want to do it. And I said, well, let me try. Let me see what it's like. I'm afraid of heights. I went up in the helicopter. I did it. I said, it ain't that bad. Let's go up together. We went up together. We went up. We checked it out. When we came down, she goes, I got this. Don't worry about it. So
that's cool.
You do what you got to do. And like I said, they see that I'll do anything I can. I'll build whatever I can. To me, if somebody said there's a PA over there and they're pointing at me, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I'll sweep a floor. I'll clean a toilet. I owned the club in Manhattan, and one of the barmaids, when we first hired her, she came downstairs. I was working. She went to the maitre d' and she goes, that man down there, he needs a raise. He brought her downstairs. He goes, this is your boss. And I said, don't tell that. But, that's how I am. I'm a workhorse.
That's awesome. And, it's kind of reassuring, too, because, full disclosure, I'm, in my 40s now, right? And it gives, hope for people maybe that are older to be able to say, it's not too late. You can jump into what you're passionate about and just go for it. Because, like you said, you're on this planet one go around. You just got to make it happen. You got to, make the best of it. Enjoy it. Great words of wisdom.
Well, that's cool. You got to remember, 58 years old when I first did my first film.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I still have some time at least. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a movie. Why not? Write a book. I've entertained that idea. So when it comes to Terrifier 3, and like you said, you had a really tight-knit crew who were really instrumental in helping make this a success. But when it comes to Terrifier 3, I didn't see a ton of advertising on it. So, for instance, I wasn't turning on TV and seeing a trailer for Terrifier 3 while I'm watching something on FX, right? What was the marketing strategy like to make this film as successful as it has been?
Well, there's a lot of people that have different views on that. I'm of a mind we had a strong organic base in the horror community. And we relied on our horror community for that. And what I mean by that is I knew what we did on Terrifier 2. I knew exactly what we were going into with Terrifier 3. I knew we had a strong base. All we had to do is keep our base and build upon it. Cineverse came in and they did some things with their marketing. I'm sure it went well, getting in social media. We relied on social media a lot. Word of mouth a lot. Then what happened was we got a call from Call of Duty. And that was a huge boost. It helped us immensely. Then we got picked up by another company overseas, and Spectavision, and they made some waves overseas, which carried over here. Then you had some interviews, and people started looking towards us and looking for us. And with the marketing that we had going, which was a very limited budget. And even though they wanted more, I said, no, that's all right. I said, I've seen movies with $100 million budgets flop. I said, we have a solid movie. I know what we have. The people are going to push it. The fans are going to love it. The fans are going to push for it. And the fans are going to tell their friends, you got to see this movie. And I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. Terrifier, I told Damien, you could have Black Leader, tell them, come back, go to the bathroom, come back in about 5 minutes. He's going to kill somebody else. Terrifier 2, you had a story. You have some cool kills. The production value was much higher. Terrifier 3, we blew away our production value. The story is great. The kills are fantastic. We had a much bigger crew. It's such a professionally done movie. We had the right equipment. We had the right people in the right place. And we still had our nucleus crew, which we kept intact, but we built upon it, brought in some really cool people. And the end result was, even before it was edited, I said, this is cool as hell. I said, I'm so proud of this. And I would put it up against Hollywood movies. I said it early on. I said, I'm not saying, and I didn't say we're going to win anything. I just said, I'm very proud of it. The production quality to look at a film is Hollywood quality. And I think the other things that helped with us was timing. We came on when we went up against Joker. We knew we were going up against Joker, even though our crew wanted to come out in December. And I said, no, October. I said, I'm not a huge horror fan, but I watch horror films in October. I'm constantly watching horror films in October. So we're going to grab those people that want to see horror films. You're going to get the people that want to be scared on Halloween. Bring it in October. We brought it in October, and we went up against Joker, and Joker had some bad reviews coming out, and I call it shitting the bed. I don't mean that in a bad way. It just didn't grab the fans. And when that happened, it left the door open. And I think that helped us a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been hearing some mixed reviews about Joker, mostly negative, unfortunately. But they had a ginormous budget, obviously, because it's friggin' DC. So you had, I think, marketing was probably 200 million. I think I heard something like that.
I heard about 150 million, and that's why I say, you could throw all the money. They were coming to me and saying, oh, listen, we got to throw more money at it. I said, no. I said, we don't have to throw more money at it. I said, just throw the money in the right spots. The numbers they were telling me that they can increase with the amount we were giving them, I was saying, it's not worth it. Just let it grow. Let it do its thing. Let it, organically. Damien and I have been like that since the beginning. We've always said we have a fan base, and we always want to grow on our fan base. And our fan base is solid. I'm telling you, the first time I saw our horror community, I said, what a bunch of fucking nuts. But I still say it, but with a much bigger heart, because I've spent time with our fan base, and I'm telling you, they're the sweetest people, the nicest people, the most film intelligent people that you could ever meet. And, we knew back then that as long as we could grow our core base of fans, we'll be fine. And once we were finished with Terrifier 2 and it did what it did, we knew we'd be okay with Terrifier 3. We said we're going to do the best we can, but even if we did a shit movie, Terrifier 3 was going to do well in the box office because the fans were looking for what we could deliver. And I was just happy to be able to deliver it.
Oh, and you absolutely delivered. That's for sure. Corey, you're going to say something.
No, I was going to say it was crazy because Steve and I both were lucky enough to see the re-release of Terrifier 2. I think it was last year we saw it in theaters. And that was the first time we saw the teaser trailer for Terrifier 3. And it's so a whole year of buildup for this movie and people talking about it. I know you're part of the Art the Clown Appreciation Society on Facebook. We're in there too, but seeing people literally a whole year of just hype for this movie, it was insane. And it's still going. I've seen people seeing it like 8 times already, and it's been out, a week?
Yeah, listen, my own family, I'm getting texts from my nephews and my niece. My niece took a boyfriend. He put a jacket over his head. He was nervous. But, my nephew took his whole lacrosse team, and they all went to the movies. He videotaped from the theater, and I did a selfie video. And I said, hey, boys, enjoy it, and it's cool. So, it's great interaction. And when they see that, they're loving it. People I haven't seen in 40, 50 years congratulating me, calling me up and saying, Phil, I know it's been years, but my son, my God, he's a huge fan. I'm like, holy crap. I go to a doctor and he goes, I saw your film. I'm like, really? You saw my film? You're my doctor. I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah. Just make sure he doesn't hold a scalpel while he's just checking your temperature.
He did this.
Here's a doctor
already. So, yeah, it's a blast. I'm having fun with it. But, it's a ride that you get to do with a bunch of cool people. And when I say a ride that you do with a bunch of cool people, I'm not just talking about the cast and crew. I'm talking about the fans. Like right now, Damien and Dave and Lauren, I think they're all in Miami enjoying their fans. I'm home enjoying my family. But, you go to these cons and you enjoy the hell out of the nights. And the days you got people coming up to you all day and you get to talk about something you're passionate about all day, all night. you're talking movies. So it's insane. It's not just Terrifier. You're talking movies. You're talking, different ideas. It's a bunch of creative people getting together and just enjoying the night.
Yeah, the horror community is so dedicated to movies and, the horror movies that we love. We're all good people, but I think obviously there's that stigma occasionally. And this essentially is the same thing for metalheads too. People look at all these groups and they're like, oh, they're crazy, whatever. But we're like the most down-to-earth people that you will ever meet. Not to mention, like you said, we're diehards. So you're never going to see like a rom-com convention. I don't think that's even a thing. I mean,
Don't
maybe
go there.
No.
Don't go there.
Nope, I'm not going.
Don't go there.
No.
Rom-com is my jam.
Hey, it's my jam too.
No, I'm telling you, I know exactly what you feel because listen, I'm telling you, when I first went, I said, what a bunch of crazy bastards. And I'm not shitting you. I was looking at it, I was going, what the fuck am I doing here? And I'll tell you right now, I couldn't have been happier being there every time I get a chance because the people are amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. It's friggin' great. And not only that, they're not just horror fans. They could dissect any type of movie, love story, documentary. They're just very adept in film. They're students of film. They're better than I am at film. I'm telling you, I sit with them. They're teaching me shit. I'm like, this is awesome. They're great people. Like I said, 30 years on Wall Street. I'm enjoying this crowd more. It's fucking blast.
I'm sure it's a blast. Oh, I would love to obviously be in your shoes. You must be so ecstatic over this whole entire deal. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing that you're getting to do what you love, especially like after your Wall Street career. But Corey, you might have a few more questions.
Yeah, so I want to know, how did your cameos in Terrifier 3, the work of art video, and stream come to be?
You didn't mention my cameo in Terrifier 3, did you?
Nope, sorry.
No,
Yeah, I did. No.
Well, you wrote it down in the question, but maybe you missed.
I tell everybody.
Maybe I missed it. I'm a whore for that.
I was telling my friends, I was like, we're talking to Phil tonight, a guy that's had a big part of the Terrifier franchise. The bus driver in Terrifier 3.
Well, I'll tell you, if you blinked in Terrifier, I was in there.
Really?
Did you know that?
You blinked and I missed it
because I blinked.
Right,
and I've seen that. The Terrifier 1 is probably my favorite, and I've watched it so many times, and now I feel bad.
Yeah,
I got very short hair in that one, and I'm Tom, the studio executive. The scene was cut to shribbons.
Oh, okay.
In 2, I'm laying on the floor on fire because I had just had open heart surgery, so I couldn't run around.
So they just
the
set you
Clown
on
Cafe
fire.
scene?
The Clown Cafe scene.
Okay.
I'm laying on the floor. I'm also in the background walking around in a suit, which I never wear. So I'm in that. And then 3, I wanted to be in. I kept bothering Damien. I wanted to be in. He said, you could play the card. You could play the card. I said, I'll never do that to you, but I want to be in. And I told him why. And it's a little bummer to say why, but I always say, like, I got grandkids and, hopefully they'll have kids. I said, someday I want my grandkids to be able to say, that was my poppy up there, and be able to point to me on the screen and say, that was my poppy, So I wanted it for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it. Stream, they wanted me in, and they said, here, put these suspenders on. I said, I'm not wearing suspenders. They said, put this bow tie on. I said, I'm not wearing a bow tie. They said, all right, stand over here. I said, I'll do that for you. So I stood in the party scene. At the Ice 9 Kills video, I don't know why everybody thinks I should be like Don Cheech. But I guess that's what they take from my accent and everything. So he says, I want you to do this. I said, all right, I'll do it. Spence is a great guy. So how do you turn him down? So I did my little scene for Ice 9.
That was a cool little thing between you and Damien at the end of that video, yelling at the people at the table.
Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, I got to ham it up sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to add on to that. So obviously, Corey and I are both metal fans, and we got to see this music video, a work of art, where you made that guest appearance. You were listed as an executive producer. So as an executive producer for the video, what were your responsibilities in the making of that video?
I was listed as an executive producer. Oh,
Yeah.
Shit, I can tell them I want some fucking royalties.
Where's my check, pal?
You know what I did? Damien couldn't make it out there, so I went out there with Dave to help direct Dave through the course of the video. Olga came out. She helped with his wardrobe, and Heather came out. She put the mask and the prosthetics on him, and I was there in case she needed a hand. But she needs a hand. She's a special effects artist. She's unbelievable special effects artist. She's awesome. Special effects makeup. So we had 3 from our crew go out there to help out with anything they might need with Dave, and to make sure that he stayed in character and nothing went out of character.
That makes sense. I mean, whenever he does those conventions, the horror conventions, when he's in character, he's absolutely in character. He doesn't talk. He just acts like Art the Clown. And it's pretty wild to see him just be so in the moment and in his character.
Well, we told him if he ever talks while he's in costume, we rip his tongue right out and he'll never talk again.
Well, okay. Well, so that's why you did the cameo.
I saw at Silver Scream when he was in costume, somebody went up for their photo op and stepped on his foot by accident, and he just looked at them and he pointed and like made the most disgusting face in character. It was so funny. He's so like perfect at that role.
Yeah.
It amazes me that he can do all of that without saying a word.
Yeah. Now, if only he could do that in real life when he's not in costume.
just be quiet. I had the opportunity to meet him just briefly, and he's such a nice guy.
He's grown so much since the first time I met him. You know, Damien says it perfect. He says he's a real life Bugs Bunny. He's a pisser. He's fun to be around, and that's cool. You have a good time when you're with him. So that's what you want with people. You don't want to be miserable when you're around people that you're going to be around with a lot. So it's good to be around people that are nice and courteous and have a good time with. So, you try and have fun. Listen, I'm not with these guys all the time. They're a bunch of young kids, and that's great. But when I'm with them, I have a good time.
Exactly. And, I never really thought of David as Bugs Bunny. It makes so much damn sense, though, that he mentioned that he was a huge fan of Mr. Bean. And I'm like,
yep.
You know what? That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
That's it. He's a cross between Mr. Bean and Bugs Bunny for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Without
can
a doubt.
100% see that.
Yep. Listen, anybody that hears me, they're going to say, yeah, he loves everybody. No, there's times where I hate everybody. As a producer, there's times you got to put your foot down. As a producer, there's times people are going to hate you. But I could tell you, our crew, our cast, even when we're at odds, it's a talk and it's over and we move on, and we're professionals. We got to do the job at hand, and we know what we're doing it for. We're doing it for the fans. It's not for us. The rewards come if you do your job. If you don't do your job, the rewards are you lost a lot of money, you lost some space in your career path. So, it's all for the fans. It's always got to be for the fans, or you're going to lose. So your whole crew has to be feeling that way, and you got to like your crew. Otherwise, it's not going to be that way.
Of course, obviously, you can't surround yourself with people that are negative. Even just one person who's negative can just drag down a whole crew. And it's the craziest thing. But the fact that you have like such a tight-knit crew, or basically family, it's massive. And I understand you have to put your foot down sometimes, because that's how people take advantage of you. And they take advantage of like the goodness of your own heart if you don't voice your opinion or state like what's wrong about what they're doing and things like that. It's important to put your foot down, but you don't have to be a dick about it, obviously. You just have to stand your ground sometimes. And
I like to be a dick once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes. When
You gotta get shit done.
Yeah.
Got to get shit done.
Yeah, just shut your fucking mouth, get it done.
Yeah,
Okay, not that bad. That's too much.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying nothing. Nah, listen, like I said, there's times it gets heated. It's times, but again, you're really under a gun sometimes. But again, you keep your professionalism. You do your best. Everybody's stressed. Everybody's strained. At the 11th hour, everybody's tired. But when you have something that came out the way ours came out, everybody was there for the right reason, and they got along with everybody, because you can't do that when people are not happy. You just can't. You can't do that kind of work when people don't want to be there.
And you can see it in the film, too. It comes across that everyone was so passionate about it that when just the fans watching it, we all loved it. There was no lulls, nothing that was just like negative that we didn't like. We all thought it was great. I haven't heard a single bad thing about this movie. And in my opinion, we just dropped the episode for our review of Terrifier 3. We gave it both a 5 out of 5. Perfect.
I would have gave it a 4.5.
4.5?
It's not perfect.
No.
And I would give the Oscar goes to Tom the bus driver.
There you go. Best supporting role, David Howard Thornton.
That's right.
So, what was your personal favorite kill or moment in Terrifier 3? And if you could also maybe sum that up for the other two movies as well, your favorite kills or moments or anything.
All right. Well, these are things that people go through constantly. Like some people still think the upside down hanging girl getting cut in half is still the top kill.
Right.
Some say it's the bedroom scene in 2. Me personally, I had a lot of involvement in those two. So those are my two favorites. But those are the ones I enjoy the most because, like I said, me and Damien did 100% of the work on both of those. So then you go to Terrifier 3. So those two are great. I also think one of the best kills in Terrifier 2 was in Abracadabra. One of the coolest effects that we got to work was when the cleaver hits the neck. To me, that still gives me the heebie-jeebies. It looks so real when it goes into his neck that I still, when I look at it, I gotta like, oh God, that's. In Terrifier 3, I'll break it down this way. I think the climax scene is awesome. I think the whole climax scene is great. It's a great, to me, almost like an action movie. It's got a great fight scene. It's got great things going on. There's so much activity. There's so many things going, but I don't consider that the best kill with the ant or, the climax being great. Yes, best climax. Then you have the shower scene, the most grueling and drawn out of the kills in the movie. And it's brutal and it's amazing and it's everything you want a kill to be. But the one that gets me the most is the opening scene kill.
Oh, yeah.
Chrissy Fox nailed it. I think that scene, the way it plays out, the way it's done, I think everything about that scene, that to me is probably my kill of the movie.
I love that scene with the Shining callback with the door. Chills, man.
Yeah.
It was cool because you basically started the movie with killing a kid, essentially. And I was like, this is what
not nice to his sister. Come on.
He wasn't. He was a little asshole. He deserved it.
He was a little dick.
He was a little dick.
There you go. He deserved it. Here's where I get canceled for this shit.
Well, I just said it the other day. He was a dick.
Listen, you got to walk a tight line with that. Being that it's off screen, and I mean the sound gets you. I mean you could hear it in the theaters as soon as you hear that first act. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, because you know what's happening.
Yeah, that's the glue. Those things are the glue to the kills, and especially the opening scene. That was just. If I told you we worked on the sound for over a month, I'm not lying. And we had a tight constraints, and Damien and I and George and Jason Milstein, our post-production supervisor, who's a hero, flew out to Mexico City and worked with the team out there. And I could tell you that was a lot of work. We stayed there about a month, a little more than a month, and trying to get the sound just right. Damien's a stickler for, what he wants to hear, what he wants to see. Mm-hmm. So testament to the young man. And I think it succeeded. I got to tell you, every time I've witnessed the audience with that, it's just even the off screen when you're not seeing nothing, it's insane.
That's one of my favorite, most admirable things about what you guys did with this movie was the fact that I've listened to interviews with Damien talking about how Hollywood approached you guys for Terrifier 3. And Damien said, no, they wouldn't let us do the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, no, we went. Truthfully, we listened to everyone, but it was never going to be. Put it this way: if it was a Hollywood movie, none of this would have been. None of this. Nope. It would have never happened. They were never going to do what he did. They would never allow it. And we had many talks. Damien and I talk a lot. This was never going to be anything more than discussions. We knew that when we were going in. You listen, and if by some miracle they would have said, words that we couldn't pay. That old saying, I'll give you a choice you can't refuse.
Yeah. So, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, yes, offer. That's it. It was never going to be that because they were never going to say, I'll let you do whatever you want. It was never going to be that way. So realistically, even though we were talking, we knew that was not going to be an option. We knew it was going to have to be an independent. We knew, again, some things fell apart and some people had to pick up the slack, and I was fine doing it. I didn't care. And I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Otherwise, my wife might have cared. No, she's great. She's great. She, I turned to her and I go, listen, we're risking retirement here. And she goes, we've been poor before. Don't worry about it.
Yep. She believes in the process, I'm sure. She knows that it's going to be a hit.
She believes in us. She believes in me. She believes in Damien. She believes in the process. She believes if I believe and Damien believes, we're going to be fine.
She's your true rock.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's really cool to see all your posts on social media because it's always you and her. She's with you wherever you are, pretty much promoting these things.
I gather you haven't seen the ones that she screams at me for.
I guess I missed those ones.
Oh,
Those probably got taken down.
She won't. No, she won't take them down. I'll be in one part of the house. She'll be in the other. And all of a sudden I'll hear, "You're dead." I try and catch her in her worst. And then I post it on Facebook and I say, "She's all mine. You can't have her."
That's when we love them the most, though, right?
That's it.
The most natural. The everyday.
The everyday, the haven't had a chance to even comb your hair. I tell you, she's a good egg. She's a good egg.
She sounds like a good egg. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, I got another question for you. Excluding the Terrifier franchise and Stream, and I know you said you're not big on horror, but do you have another horror movie that you would say is kind of your favorite of all time?
Listen, I never considered certain horror films, to be honest.
Okay.
I love Jaws. I didn't know Jaws was a horror film. I always considered that just a thriller. Same thing with Omen. I love Omen. I like the first Halloween. I like The Exorcist. So there's a lot of films that I do like that are considered horror films that I didn't realize were considered horror films. But to me, horror films were the classics. I say it in the bus. I don't say them all. He cut them, but I like Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Dracula, the black and whites. The only horror film that ever did anything to me where I was scared shitless and couldn't watch another movie that this person was in was Bette Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. That movie, that her look scared the living shit out of me. I was young when I saw it, but still, that thing scared the living shit out of me. I don't think I ever watched a Bette Davis movie after that until I was probably in my 40s or 50s.
Oh, geez. Wow. That really did scare the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't look at her face. And she was a beautiful woman, but I couldn't look at her after that. Every time I see her face, I'd see Baby Jane. I'm like, holy fuck.
You're like, nope, I'm good.
Exactly.
That's a lot of people with Art the Clown now.
That's cool. Good to see.
Well, a lot of people have that fear of clowns, too. So there's that, right? And then you have Art the Clown, which is over the top. So these people must be terrified to death seeing this. Terrified.
Just to cut you off for a second, I could attest to that firsthand or secondhand. My daughter, Lisa Marie, who we have all her body parts in the movie, she's deathly afraid of clowns.
Okay.
and for about 2 years, I had this little clown. He's about this big and ugliest little shit. And I would hide this thing in any place that I knew she would be going to at some point in time. And just to scare her. And when we did Terrifier and we needed her body part, she was never there. But when we did Terrifier 2, we built everything in my basement. And my daughter would go down the stairs and me and Damien left Art's severed head on the shelf right at the bottom of the steps.
Oh, God. Oh, she must have lost it.
Yeah, she got desensitized. Now she watches them like she'll tell me what she likes about certain kills. But she's been a trooper since the beginning. When Lauren's in the tank in part 2 and her leg breaks free from the tentacle, that's my daughter's foot. We needed Lauren. Yeah, we had to film that another day. We filmed that in my backyard, the whole tank scene. I built that tank with my friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, Damien goes, I want a water tank. We were looking around. It was $15,000. I said, I ain't fucking paying $15,000. No. I said, you mind if there's wood on the side? It's not at all. I said, I'll build it. Don't worry about it.
Perfect.
And we built it. So we built that. We did it in my backyard. We filmed Lauren in the backyard. And then when she was done, we had to film the next night. We had to put my daughter in I made a little tank to shoot through, and we filmed that scene.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So it wasn't like a dunk tank or anything like that. It was like something you basically built or had.
I built that. I built that from scratch.
Wow. That's so cool.
I'll tell you how good a builder I am.
Clearly enough to hold water.
I left just enough of a leak that each time we filmed, enough water drained out that we could put hot water back in, because we filmed it in the middle of the winter out in my yard. So we kept putting hot water in, and Lauren was warm the whole time. And when she would come out, we had people on a scaffold wrapping her up in towels.
No shit. That's smart. I wouldn't have even thought of that. Also, I'm not really a builder anyways.
I didn't think of that. It
was just a crack.
It was just enough of a leak. I was like, when we first saw the leak, I said, son of a bitch. And then it was the perfect leak.
It worked out for the best.
Worked out for the best.
That's for sure. Corey, you have a question.
Yeah. So can you talk about the crew's experience promoting the movie all over Europe?
Sure. Again, I'm only one portion of it. Dave and Lauren and Olga, I think, went to Paris promoting. Damien, I, and Elliot was in London.
Mm-hmm.
Then we all met in Spain. That was the extent of my trip. It was the first time I did a book signing, which was in London. I was loving that, I got to tell you. I told somebody, I'm not a picture taster. Somebody take a picture of me. I've never signed a book before.
Was that the novelization?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, somebody get this. But that was a blast because, it was a last minute thing. And I think over 100 people came, more than 100 people came. We didn't even get to sign them all. I was so mad. I started grabbing books, signing them because we had to leave. They had us on a tight schedule. I'm grabbing books. I'm going, I'll sign them. This way, at least the people online will get them. And then I handed some to Damien. He got about 3 books done. I had about 10 books done. And they said, come on, we got to go. You're late. And we left Elliot there to sign books. But that's what I'm saying. We try to do whatever we can for the fans, and that was a blast. I really enjoyed that. I really did. That was probably that, and the fact that the people at UK Signature, our distributor, I'm telling you, I don't think he could treat the Queen better than they treated us. We were treated so good. They had everything ready for us. They treated us like royalty. It was amazing. I had a blast. My wife had a blast. Matter of fact, my daughter Lisa Marie came. She goes, you're going where? London? Yeah, I think I'm taking off. I'm coming to London. She closed her business down. She came to London and Spain. My niece goes, Lisa Marie, you're going to London? She goes, yeah, I'm going to London and then Spain with my mother and father. She goes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
So they came, they came. So it was cool because I had my family there. I had everybody with me. It was awesome. It really was. It was awesome.
That's like a family trip then. So it's like best of both worlds. Family trip and you got to promote the movie.
Yeah.
And sign autographs, obviously. Isn't it awesome signing autographs?
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing that I enjoy about it, when I did Joe's War, I sat with, before the movie and after the movie, at least over 200 veterans with PTSD.
Yeah.
So I've taken on a thing where I try to help wherever I can. And when I do signings now, if I go to a con and I sign, whatever I make, I give to New Jersey Veterans Network. And I do it there because it's a small institute that helps the veterans, and they help them right there. Like, I give them money and they take them out. I give them money, they pay for meals. So as soon as the money goes in, it's used for the veterans, not for a CEO.
Yeah, so no digging around or anything like that. Just right away, go straight to where they need it.
Yep, it's direct, and I love it. And, Doc Shupp, God bless him, he does so much for them. Matter of fact, I had a prior commitment, but they went to see Terrifier. I told him if he goes this weekend, I'll meet them there. But he went to see Terrifier with a bunch of the boys and girls from the Veterans Association. And he said, what are you doing? I said, God damn it, I can't come. I said, but he goes, can I change the date? I said, don't change the date. Don't mess it up, but I'll go with you if you go again. Grab them together. I'll take care of it.
Oh, that's nice of you. Just giving back for what they've, given to us.
God, we'll never be able to give back. But never. Yeah, you're right. They're the heroes. They're the true heroes.
How many times have you seen the finished cut in theaters?
In theaters, let's see. 6 full and 2 from walking in and walking out.
Corey, we got to put in some work.
Yeah, apparently.
And the best part is, even as a filmmaker, because I've seen clips for over 6 months. So, you're looking at these things and I still find things. I'll still see things and I'll say, gosh, that's cool. Because your eyes can't take it all in one.
Oh, I know. And you know what? Sometimes it's good to watch a movie, like a few go-arounds, just so you can see what you've missed. And I'm sure there's stuff I missed in Terrifier 3 that I would love to obviously watch again and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't even see that the first time.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
You will see things and go, wow, I didn't see that the last time. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And so I've got one more question for you, and then we can just wrap it up and I'll let you get back to doing what you got to do, spending time with the fam. But I know there's been rumblings about Terrifier 4 and Terrifier 5, but is there anything that you would like to talk about that you have in the pipeline or something you want to promote?
All right, I'll do a couple of things here. First of all, right now the story arc is for a Terrifier 4, but we don't want to do another 2 hour and 20-minute movie for the climax. So if it turns out to be a 4 and a 5, that probably will take care of the arc of this story. Now, whether he comes up with things that he really wants to do with Terrifier, that's fine. But, one thing we don't want to do is start getting boring and hear people say, I wish they would have stopped. Fair. That's one thing I hate when you're watching a franchise and then you go, wow, they killed it. It just went one too many or two too many. So we don't want to fall into that trap. We want to leave on a high note. We want it to be where people go, wow, that was fucking great. So that's where I'll leave Terrifier. Stream came out this week on VOD. So I asked people to go out there. The Fuzz Boys tackled that. I had a little hand in it. Damien had a hand in it. George Stuber, of course. And, get out there, check it out. Let us know what you think of it. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's got a lot of cool kills in it. And I have a cameo in that too. So
yes, you do.
And I'm working on 2 other projects. I don't know how far it'll go, but right now I'm looking into a movie called Blood Scent that was written by Darryl Pennington, about shape-shifting and things like that. So, Native American, pretty cool story. I read it. I usually don't read people's scripts anymore. I figure I do in-house. And I really liked the script. He really did a good job. It is very, very, very detailed. It's a thriller, horror, and I love it. And I want to do that next. And I also wrote something a while back called Paintball as a tentative title. And I liken it to like a Rambo-ish type of thing.
Okay.
So those are the things that I believe are on my table, hopefully.
All right, awesome. You know what? I actually wanted to know, though, where can I watch Joe's War? Because I tried to find it, and it wasn't on Tubi, and it said it was on Tubi, but I couldn't watch it there. Where can we all watch?
It should be on Amazon Prime, but you have to type, it's wild. You have to type in the exact name, Joe's War. You got to go through the whole thing and then look for it, I guess. But it should be on there. It should be on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe I just didn't rent it. That's all.
It's an old movie. That shouldn't even be for rent anymore.
Oh, you got to get your cut.
Yeah. I could say Joe's War, that was my college degree in movie making, but I'm proud of it. It's a nice movie. I needed more seasoning, but it's a solid movie story-wise. So, if you check it out, I'd love to hear what you think of it. Honest opinions only.
Of course, as always.
That's all we do here.
That's what you need. If it's not honest, don't help.
We've gotten in trouble for it. Let me tell you.
Trust me, I know. Yeah, I think you could tell by my mouth that my honesty gets me in a lot of hot water.
We've gotten some nasty tweets from directors that have not liked what we've said about their movies.
Yeah.
But it's just honesty, and he took it as constructive criticism. So
listen, if somebody tells me, I didn't care for it, you needed to do this, you needed to do that, goes in the bank, and you sort it out. Whether you believe him or not, that's up to you. But if he's giving you constructive criticism, if it's real, I do it. I do it with Damien all the time. Like, he'll send me something, he'll say, what do you think? I'll either say it's great or I'll say it's great, but if you're going to change something, this is what I would do. So even when there's something that I really like, it's very rare I say, this is amazing, I wouldn't touch anything, but it does happen. But even when he sends me stuff that I really like, I go, listen, this is really good. You don't have to change anything. I wouldn't change anything, but if you had to do something, I might do this. And then there's times where I'm not getting it. I don't like it. Sometimes he agrees, sometimes he doesn't. But Damien's open. He likes to hear, and, he'll do what he feels is right. And that's how I do things. If, I'll listen to anybody, and I won't, I got a thick skin. If you say it sucked, I'll say, all right. And I'll look at it, and maybe it did. And if I don't agree with you, that's my choice. But if you say, Phil, you should have did this, and this, I'll look at it and I'll say, maybe I should have did that way. Maybe I should have did a little something different.
Yeah, I mean, at least I said that, Corey. I don't straight up just say it sucked and that's it. I at least give some sort of constructive criticism back, because you have to. Otherwise, you're just going to be disregarded. You're just going to be like, well, all right, whatever, you didn't like it. But if someone says, I didn't like it because of this, then you go, okay. Now I can maybe look at this, and if there's a sequel or something, or maybe a different movie, I can be cognizant of that aspect.
You can't make everybody happy all the time. And if you're given constructive criticism, listen, you could be a dick too. You could go like this, that thing sucked. But that ain't helping anybody, and you're just going to piss people off. But if you say, listen, what I would have done, I would have did this, I would have did this, I would have moved this here, or I would have took this out, I would have cut this, I would have put this here. that's just my opinion. You got to do what you want. But if you attack a person, nobody listens. If you give them your honest opinion and they respect your opinion or at all, they'll at least look at it and say, all right, maybe. If they don't want to learn anything and they just want their way only, and there's nothing you could do, and you might as well just say, hey, great job.
Yep. Cool story. Nicely done. Well played.
Yeah.
But Phil, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to talk with us. This has been great. Listen, I don't know if you're a drinker or not, but if you're in the Massachusetts area, we would love to take you out for a round of beers or a scotch or whatever it is your thing.
Scotch, you hit me on the head with scotch.
There it is.
I don't drink often, but if I'm out with the boys, I'll have a drink here and there. So if I'm ever in Massachusetts, you owe me a drink.
Hell yeah.
Stick around.
First round's on us.
We'll follow up on it. Hopefully, maybe Silver Scream next year or something. You can be there.
Maybe.
Again, if they call me, I usually go so I can hang with the fans.
Hell yeah. Phil, thank you again, man. This has been awesome.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. I had a blast.
Yeah, I had a blast too. But we'd love to keep in touch.
Cool.
Again, maybe we can meet up someday and we'll have some scotch.
You got it, kick off.
All right.
Cool.
Phil,
Thank you again, Phil.
Thanks again. I hope you have a great night.
You too, guys.
Thanks.
All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies. And be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans.